Welcome everybody to the Sweatshop Podcast. It's the one-stop shop for everybody in here talking shop. It is me, your host, Sweats, and of course, got to bring in my boy, the Maestro. Look at my goddamn greens. Look at my goddamn green screen. I got this shit all locked in now. I got the shit.
Wait, you're not at Brave Stadium right now?
No, no.
What? You could have fooled me.
I know. My favorite shit was like back in. I think what movie was it? It was oh fuck. It was what's that thing with where the dude goes to Hawaii with his girl and sees his girlfriend with the other guy.
You're talking about Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Yeah, it's Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh my goodness.
I love Forgetting Sarah Marshall, but they have they got the one scene where the dude is like, he's like acting like he's in Hawaii, like, and they're doing the bullshit, like go to Hawaii and all this stupid shit. It's dumb. It's dumb as hell, man. But what's going on, man? How you doing, dude?
Dude, not much. Just kind of same old, gearing up for some exciting stuff, I guess, coming up in the summer months.
Okay.
Definitely working on some new things for not only the HTW Network itself, but also getting ready. I can't release any details yet, but getting ready for our next live wrestling event because we did our spring breakdown in March.
All right.
So we've been working away and planning our next event. So hopefully we can have details about that in the next week or so. That's pretty much about it. I went to the Phillies game on Saturday.
Oh, did you?
Saturday. That game against the Reds where they were down 2-0.
Yeah.
Going into the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah.
And literally they just like
was
came
it
back.
The Reds?
Yeah, it was against the Reds, and they just
Reds
came back.
Reds are having a hard time, man. They've been in every game, and they beat them by one.
They dominated. They dominated this game on Saturday. I thought it was over because the Phillies couldn't string together anything whatsoever. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, bottom of the ninth inning, they just like score 3 runs. That's it. It's like, oh, yeah. Well then, the outcome of the game was not indicative to how everybody played.
Yeah, it's got to been the of the Reds that it looks like, because we just played them, we swept them, and we just beat them like by 1 run each game. Though they were up in every game at some point, and it came back and beat them in every single game. So it's a bullpen issue for sure.
Yeah, because some of those starters have been pretty good, like that Nick Ladulo.
Yeah,
Ladulo, whatever his name was, he pitched like 7 innings.
Yeah,
didn't gave up maybe like 3 hits, maybe. So it's like, oh.
Yeah, but man, I just got back from the gym, dude. I'm trying to get back to my former glory here. I'm feeling better about my knee. We didn't have the podcast at this time, but that's like my knee. I tore like my ACL and my LCL about a little bit over a year ago.
A through Z.
All the L's, all the motherfucking L's. Like I was in a bad way. I got fucked up pretty good trying to play basketball with these fucking middle schoolers. Like I'm fucking 20 years old out here.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
And I can't do that. They got the moves. I'm trying to play defense. I'm fucking tearing my shit up. I was like, I got sent to the damn hospital, man. They took me to the medical facility nearby.
Yeah, the local medical. You were at the local medical facility.
That's right.
So, yeah,
the local medical, nearby, right? So I had to get all that shit together. But yeah, I mean, I still have not gotten it fixed at all. But what's hilarious about it is I've been, on it for a while now, and it's I don't know if it's healed itself or whatever. I know it's not fully healed. I still feel it, but it's not. God damn. This platform is wonderful. I love this shit right here.
It's not the same. It's not the same. It just knows.
No, it knows, baby. That's goddamn. Woo, this platform is mysterious. But yeah, thank goodness. Like, I'm feeling comfortable enough to go back to the gym, getting, pushing some weights and feeling good about that again and trying to get that motivation back, because I was extremely motivated, but when my knee blew out, that motivation went. At first I was motivated to get back, but then after 3, 4, 5 months, I'm just like,
same thing happened to my ankle when I destroyed my ankle in August.
Ankle.
I was all about getting back into it, whatever, and then like my ankle just was not It's still not. Not. I haven't gotten that checked out either.
Right.
And like, so I totally understand where you're coming from, where it's like, after a while, like it's I don't know, just there's something about that's not the same, and you don't necessarily want to like push it too far, but at the same time, like you should, but then you don't want to, and then you don't like risk re-aggravating it, because like we're not like trained athletes here.
Yeah.
So like I feel like any little slight, because there's sometimes where even like it rains and my ankles, like I've got as like Mean Girls, it's like you've got ESPN, like that kind of like as soon as the weather goes below 50 degrees, I feel it in my ankle, like those kind of things.
No, it was pretty wild. I was thinking about like, I was walking in Orlando when I was on spring break or whatever. I was walking all day, whatever, and I laid down and I tried to get back up, right, to just go walk and get some food. And that thing, like, I don't know, was out of place slightly or whatever, but I could not do it. But then I went all the way down to the pool and all this stuff, went to the pool, came back, and still like a little twingy, but then I like laid down and I kind of, it felt like a crack, like a little pop, like it didn't hurt at all, but it just like cracked your knee or whatever, like a little crack or whatever, like a crack in your knuckles. Yeah. And it was fine. I was like, oh, I'm back. So I don't know, like I don't know what the fuck that was, but I think it's just where my knee is right now. You know what I mean? It's like in this little weird spot, and it is what it is. So that's it. Speaking of RIPs,
I was gonna say this is a real one.
Yeah, that's a real RIP. Yep, Bushwhacker Butch passed away last week. It was a week and a half ago.
Yeah, I think it was during WrestleMania weekend, but I know it wasn't necessarily public knowledge until a little bit later on.
Right. Oh, right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't really get to. I mean, when we recorded, because we recorded before any of that stuff kind of got out, and we released our comeback episode before we could really do that.
Exactly.
So just giving a little shout out here.
Yep.
Bushwhacker Butch Miller there.
Yep. And I have a little something for him.
Jeez.
And look, it's the green screen. I can see right through it. That's because it's green and it's green. Oh my god!
It blends.
That's fantastic.
It's
floating in air.
It's like
I should hold it because I don't want I don't want like Jameson out here like.
Oh yeah, no, they'll come get us. They'll come get us for that.
With this shit now. I don't want.
No, yeah. You got to peel the label off.
Yeah, I'm only going to do a little bit.
Just a little
bit, because it is
just a little battery ram.
Because I haven't had Jameson in a minute, so that's what's happening. So, R.I.P. Bushwhacker.
Yes.
Bushwhacker Butch.
He's
the A.
Yeah.
Or is he the O?
I think he was the A.
Yay!
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. R.I.P.
Yeah. Either way, I know they were like, when I was watching as a kid, it was like one of the first ones I know that I saw was the Bushwhackers, one of those tag teams in the WWF, and a lot of memorable things. Even though they were like real badasses before they got to WWF.
Oh, they were like no joke. Yeah,
they were like hardcore. That kind of stuff before that. Great wrestlers there, in like NWA Australia and stuff like that. But, obviously they're probably going to be most remembered for their Bushwhacker legacy. And,
absolutely.
It's just it's a shame because I know he was traveling in for I think the WrestleMania.
He was, yeah. He didn't live a too short a life, so I mean that's good.
He was battling health problems.
He was battling for a while.
In fact, I was surprised they got him to Los Angeles because he was still coming from like Australia or New Zealand.
Right.
So trying to get somebody with all those medical issues to do that, it's a pretty big.
It is
big feat, but
it is.
But unfortunate, sad news here. R.I.P. Mr. Butch Miller.
And just to kind of break it up to a little bit of fun, I thought this would be fun to kind of like, because I don't think we have done this before, from our prior podcasts and everything like that. But I'd like to do like a little top 5 like WrestleMania list, right? The top 5 WrestleMania. We got 39 WrestleManias to choose from now. It's a good chunk of WrestleManias to choose from. Yeah. We used to be riding hard with those manias, watching the manias all the time back in college. You know what I mean? popping them things in and just going down. Royal Rumbles, WrestleManias.
Well, it's almost like every time it's WrestleMania season, we try to start at 1, and then watch it, and we'll get up to about like
start you back at 1,
and then we'll get to what, like, I don't know, 18 or 19, and then we'll be like, oh shit, we can't make it anymore. And then we just never get through like 20 through 30, whatever.
No, I think one time, isn't that when I was like half, my eye was half open, like pass the fuck out, like on your couch or on your recliner. I think my eye was like half open, sleeping.
Yep. It was like
6 a.m., 7 a.m. I'm like,
just trying to look at it. Yeah.
Dead to the world.
Definitely one of those.
Yeah.
It's like the one eye was open, but there was like definitely snores coming out.
I was totally gone. Yeah.
So as far, you got to qualify this top 5. Are we talking about top 5 complete WrestleManias? Complete WrestleManias. Now, are we counting with the most recent WrestleManias?
Yeah.
Being 2 nights. Can we take one night?
Oh, one night of it? No, it has to be. It
has to be
the total package. Lex Luger vibe.
So let's say you would want to pick WrestleMania 36. You would have to take both nights of 36. You could not just take night 1. You would also have to take night 2, or if you want to pick night 2, you also have to take night 1.
That is correct.
You got to take them both.
You got to take them both.
Oh,
you got to take the whole shebang bone.
That might.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I don't know if that'll change my mind.
You don't think it changed too much?
I don't know if it'll change. I gotta take a look at it, but I think, because I did a little planning on this one. I took a look at some of this. I think I'm going to stick with my.
Okay. Now this doesn't have to be in order. Like this is just.
I'm going to go in order.
Oh, you got a whole ass order.
No, I mean, this is not super complicated.
No, this is totally subjective, by the way. Like this is subjective as fuck, and these are your favorites. This is just your favorites.
Oh, I thought this was like.
Yeah, I mean, these are your best, but they're also your favorites. Your top 5.
See, okay, but that's where the problem lies.
What do you mean?
Because when you say top 5 WrestleManias of all time, some of these WrestleManias that are the complete package, they don't all have some of the greatest matches that I like. Like my favorite. None of my favorite WrestleMania matches are in any of the WrestleManias that I've chosen as the top 5.
Okay,
WrestleManias of all time.
All right.
All of my favorite. In fact, probably if we went like top 10 WrestleMania matches of all time, I don't think a single one of those 10 fit anywhere.
And that's valid.
In any of those lists. So to say, for example, if I were to say one of my favorites, WrestleMania 12 is one of my favorites.
Okay.
But it's not good.
No, it's not good.
WrestleMania 9 is one of my favorites.
WrestleMania 9 is one of my favorites.
It is.
But it's not
It is trash.
It is.
That would be a bottom 5. Trash. That would be bottom 5.
Absolutely. It's probably one of the worst WrestleManias ever done.
Yeah.
And WrestleMania 9 is absolutely one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Period.
So, I'm going at it from a, total package standpoint of just solid WrestleMania.
You may.
Top to bottom. That's how I'm.
You can view it like that. I have no issue with how you're doing this.
Okay.
You can.
I just didn't know what the qualifications were, and then you're like, "No, just your favorites." I'm like,
I mean, you can choose your favorite. I mean, it can be like that. You can do that. All right. So why don't we just got to go back and forth? You know what I mean? Like back and forth. Boom, boom. And first of all, I just want to preface this. People who don't watch WrestleMania, I don't give. There's two shows, in my opinion, that you should watch. If you are not a wrestling fan, there are 2 shows. One is the Royal Rumble. Everybody loves the Royal Rumble. I don't give a fuck who you are.
Yeah.
You can walk in with nothing.
That's how I get a lot of people interested in it. Is the Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble. Everybody loves the Royal Rumble. Mm-hmm. And then WrestleMania, because WrestleMania is a whole ass event.
Yeah, it's a spectacle.
It's a spectacle, and you need to watch it.
And it has so many celebrity presences and all that kind of
surprised.
stuff. So you'll draw people in.
Yep.
People know who Logan Paul and Ronda Rousey are.
Exactly.
but they might not know who Roman Reigns is, but then they'll find out later on. You know, like that kind of stuff. They'll know Brock Lesnar, they know The Rock, they know whatever.
Mm-hmm. It is a must. I recommend. So all these, I would say I would recommend to watch anyway. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't give like if you were just a casual fan, people might like WrestleMania 9 because they don't give a fuck about the matches.
No, they don't.
You know what I mean? Like if you're casual,
but it's outside and like
it's outside. It's like a whole
gimmick, Caesar's Palace gimmick, like
Macho Man coming out like on a whole thing.
I mean, Bobby the Brain coming out. That alone right there for me is worth the price of admission.
Absolutely,
right,
come on.
Watching Bobby the Brain come in on the back.
Come on,
like that, coming in literally
you can't get any better than that.
No, it doesn't. Like that is entertaining.
You really can't. No,
it's so good.
All right.
And then the bell rings for most of that.
And then the bell rings and it's just trash.
Yeah, it's terrible. But like the double doink. How can you forget about the double doink? You know what I mean?
I know. It's a magic.
Classic.
Experience.
It's classic. It's terrible, but classic.
It really is.
So.
All right. So
you want to start? You can start it off. I want to see where you're going with this.
Okay.
Before I give my, actual analysis here from a journalistic standpoint.
Okay.
That, the Wrestling Observer would be proud of me for.
Fair enough. My number 5 is WrestleMania 19. I love WrestleMania 19.
You know what's hilarious? That is also mine. That is also mine. We matched. Yeah.
WrestleMania 19, top to bottom, it's so fucking good.
Fantastic.
And I don't even remember all the see. I didn't do the research that you did, right?
Yeah. Well, and this is the one. This is the one that has like one of the worst Undertaker matches.
Oh,
and when you're saying that this WrestleMania has one of the worst Undertaker matches, and it's still a top WrestleMania, that's all needs to be said. That's pretty damn good.
That's
pretty damn good.
That's wild.
Like just to kind of like and you can hop in on your thing, but like. It has that Undertaker 2-on-1 A-Train and Big Show that went 9 minutes and 42 seconds, and that was about like 8 minutes and 42 seconds long.
Way too long.
And then like Nathan Jones comes in, does a little round kick, whatever.
Does a kick.
But for me, what stood out about it was 2 matches. Well, actually 2 matches, and then like. I don't know. I don't really like love these other 2 matches, but like the moments it created. You know what I mean? The Shawn Michaels Jericho match.
Yep.
Like phenomenal.
Yep.
The fact that it only got, I think the Wrestling Observer gave it 4.25 stars.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now. That's like go watch that tape. Go watch that tape.
Watch it back. Watch it one more time.
Yeah, like that's some good stuff.
Yeah.
And then you also get the final Rock Austin.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't get more iconic than that. Like not only as far as like big marquee match, but also the match was good. But you had the story of it. You had the story of it, and you had the match of it. You had all those like false finishes, and you just had like sort of that conclusion of the trilogy there.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also had Hulk Hogan, Vince McMahon street fight. Like to me, was it a great match? No. But like, it's fun. It
was memorable. And then Booker T, Triple H, like,
yeah, I mean that was great. It was it was good stuff. The buildup was a little dicey.
Yeah, it will. Well, we can't do that in 2023, baby. We can't do that.
That's why I want to like mention it, but like
And then you didn't give him the title, which is
they did him dirty on that one. That's why he's down in NXT doing commentary now. That's a lot of meat.
Yeah.
No bread, no water, just meat. Like that's what he's doing.
Oh my god.
Because they didn't give him the title.
Then
they should have. They really should have. That was hindsight. You had to put the title.
Yeah, you got to put the title on him. I'll give a fuck what you did after that. Put the title at that point.
Well, and then Brock breaking his neck basically.
Oh yeah,
shooting star press.
Really memorable. Yeah, honestly, there's a good 4, 5, 6 matches that are either really good or memorable matches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, because WrestleMania is about those moments too.
Yep.
That's where like I think of it,
It's about
because I was like thinking of other manias. I was like, does WrestleMania spoiler alert, WrestleMania 3 does not make my cut, but I thought about it because like you had Savage Steamboat, which is looked at as one of the greatest matches of all time.
Yep, I love that match.
But then Hulk Andre, how can you can't talk about WrestleMania without Hulk Andre? That kind of shit.
I miss Iconics.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I do.
It's sad.
All right.
So we matched on that. We
did.
WrestleMania 19. Okay.
All right, you go this time. What's your 4?
All right. So my number 4, let me look at this. My number 4 actually goes to not too far after this, WrestleMania 21. WrestleMania, the first WrestleMania goes Hollywood.
Okay.
That one to me, because like you start off with Ray and Eddie.
Right.
In that match.
Yeah, yeah.
Then you have what I believe it was the first Money in the Bank ladder match too, which was exciting, right? Edge wins that. Undertaker, Randy Orton, that was like the start of that whole feud,
right
there, and that was a pretty like beefy feud during that time. And then this is another match that gets me all steamed up because this is another classic that you need to watch the tape of.
Right.
Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, the fact that like that is no question to me a 5-star match, and the Wrestling Observer gives it 4 3/4.
That's disrespect.
I was like, you are a petty.
That's disrespect. And that thing went almost 30 minutes. That's disrespect.
It did. Yeah. Yeah. I think if it went 30 minutes, he probably would have gave it that extra quarter of a star.
Yep.
That's a theme with me. I hate that.
I know he's on that bullshit.
But like that Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels match was fantastic. Akibono Big Show was gimmicky, but it was fun.
Gimmicky, it's fun.
It served its purpose, whatever. The John Cena and Batista winning their titles, just iconic. The matches were fine. They weren't bad matches, but they weren't like amazing, thrilling, whatever. But they were iconic because it was that like passing of the guard at that point. Because then for years to come, you see Cena and Batista at the top, and this was their starting point. So that's why, to me, WrestleMania 21 goes at number 4.
I appreciate that 100%. So this might be a throwback for me, but my throwback is WrestleMania 8.
It's so bad though.
I know, but they have 2 amazing matches on there. It's so bad. I know, but it's one of my absolute favorites.
You know what? You love what you love.
I do, man. It's one of my absolute favorites, and they have 2 great matches on there.
Hogan, Sid.
Yes, sir. And we started out with Bushwhacker. We had those Bushwhacker butts and all the
that was a dark match.
Oh, that was a dark match. No, that's right. Shawn Michaels. Oh no, this is what. No, that was a dark match.
Shawn Michaels.
Yes, because at first they started out with what's her name, Reba McEntire singing the national anthem. I remember that. And then Shawn Michaels, Tito comes out, coming out. They have a good match.
Yeah, that went like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that was a good.
Like 20 minutes.
That was a pretty good match.
Yeah.
Undertaker, Jake, right? You know what I mean?
Yep.
They got the whole build up with that and shit. Hit him with the DDT and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Bret Hart, and this is one of my favorite matches.
That's a great match.
The Bret Hart Roddy Piper match is one of my all-time favorites. Just the whole the storytelling in the ring. Like I don't know. It's just really good stuff.
The finish that they keep using for years and years to come. When he reverses the sleep.
The reverses.
So many people use that nowadays.
I know. Yeah. I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's got some classic moments.
Then literally one of the worst matches I've ever seen. This 8-man tag. Literally one of the worst matches I've ever seen.
Oh,
even the fucking the promo prior to the match is one of the worst things I've ever seen. It's
chef's kiss.
It really is.
That is
it
classic.
Is so
classic 90s, like early 90s, late 80s wrestling promos.
Period.
Yeah, baby, we're gonna get it. Like that kind of stuff.
Ripple Man was like, "Oh, we're gonna," he's doing all this shit. "Oh, we're gonna I'm gonna steal this. I'm gonna get that.
Take it all back." Like that kind of shit.
And Sergeant Slaughter was like, "We're gonna slaughterize him. We're gonna come on, dude."
I was gonna say he fell way far off that WrestleMania before. He's fighting Hogan for the championship.
Yes,
in this matchup.
He is in one of the worst matches I've ever seen. But then right after it is one of the great, like, you know what I mean? One of the greatest WrestleMania matches you've ever seen. So
yeah,
you
it
go
was
from,
pretty solid.
yeah. So you go from like Bret Hart, Roddy Piper, and I guess that was their palate cleanser, and then you go right into Savage Flair, which is a great match.
Yeah, they walked them back to back on that one.
Yep. And it's so early on the fucking card. How ridiculous. Like,
yeah,
and then
the placement of it, I didn't.
Its placement is terrible, and because you have all this nonsense right in between that Hulk, it doesn't make any sense. The placement. I'll be honest with you. They could have changed this all up, like, and it would have been totally fine. You would have had Shawn Michaels, Tito, then Tatanka, Rick Martel, then throw Undertaker, and then, you know what I mean, and then just back and forth with the bullshit. Great match. Bullshit. Great match. Bullshit. Then it wouldn't seem as bad. You had 3 stinkers in a row, and then a squash match. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
And then Hulk Hogan and Sid for no title into the DQ.
Yeah.
But the Ultimate Warrior comes back, and that was like a big deal, right?
And Papa Shango was late.
And Papa Shango was late as fuck.
Yep.
Sid Vicious kicking out of the leg drop. I mean, forcefully. Like, it was like 1, 2. He presses him up. I was like,
yeah, it wasn't just like it was like, nah, dude.
No, I'm kicking out.
Yep.
I'm not losing like this. Sid ain't taking no jobs like that. He ain't no bitch.
It worked out for him.
The master and the ruler of the world. But yeah, that's my number 4.
Okay. All right. That's solid.
All right, let's go to, like, as I said, it's like one of those nostalgic ones that I just like absolutely love.
That's fair.
I love it. There's another one on here I'm not going to mention, but it's also one of my favorites, just for whatever purposes.
What do you mean, WrestleMania or?
Yeah, but I'm gonna go. Okay, but here's
now you have to. You set it up.
11. I love 11.
Oh, that's so bad too.
It is so bad.
It's so bad.
So terrible. But I do love 11. But it's not on my number. It's not my number 3. My number 3 my number 3 is WrestleMania 31. I love WrestleMania 31.
That is my number 2.
Ooh.
That's my number 2.
Well, let's talk about it.
So we'll take a moment.
Yeah, we'll take it
right here.
Yeah, take a moment. Let's talk about 31.
That's my number 2.
Interesting.
So it is on my list as well. Because I think wasn't this one I think we watched this together.
Did we watch this together?
I mean, either we watched it together when it happened, or I know we watched it together.
We watched it together at some point.
Because I remember distinctly having the conversation with you, being like, "Damn, this is one of the best WrestleManias I've seen."
Yeah.
And I distinctly remember having that conversation, and we didn't even get to the main event yet. Like we were at like Triple H Sting.
Yeah.
When that happened.
Yes.
But like you take a look at the card, the main card starts off with the 7-way ladder match for the Intercontinental title.
And that was mad good.
Little Daniel Bryan takes the win on that one because they're making up for not putting him in the title picture there. Right. They did that at 30, which whatever.
Right.
Anyway, but that was a solid match. Like, because you had Bad News Barrett, Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, Luke Harper, R-Truth, and Stardust. But like it was solid. Then you went with Randy Orton and Seth Rollins, which had that crazy curb stomp to the RKO.
Yes. So good.
Like, but that was a great match
as
well.
Boom, boom. So it was like great match, and then you have the show. Like, this is the show.
This was the entertainment. Yeah.
This is the entertainment part of it, and it wasn't bad. It was a pretty good match, and then the fuckery happened.
It was the WWF versus WCW, NWO versus DX. Like it was what we've all wanted to see for so many years.
Exactly.
If you were watching during the Monday Night Wars, we wanted to see this for so long, and like most of them were over the hill to like do much of anything, but like just to see it happen and to see little bits and pieces of it. Like it was fun. The match was just super fun.
Right.
And it went, about 20 minutes, but most of it wasn't like, Triple H and Sting, trade and hold. Like, it was, you had all of this stuff around it, like, because you had Kevin Nash and Scott Hall coming out, then you had Road Dogg and, all that kind of stuff. So it was just like a lot of fun, like gaga bullshit type stuff, but it was a ton of fun. It was very entertaining.
Yeah.
And
then you had your palate cleanser, and it's no disrespect to those two. It was, I'm just saying because it was like
at the time that was what
it was. This is where we were at. We were shifting about here. We were close to shifting about here, but
we didn't quite hit the women's revolution yet.
Not yet.
At this point, we're getting there.
We're getting close. We're getting real close. Yeah, we are.
Because you had AJ Lee, Paige versus the Bella Twins.
What year was it when we saw Bayley and Sasha?
It was like, I believe it was this. I think it was this year.
Was it this year?
It was either 2015, like after WrestleMania, or
it was that close. It was
the year after. Like, this was like real close because I think if I remember correctly, that around this time, like the SummerSlam, remember it was either.
It might be 2014. It might be 2014.
Well, because remember we went to an NXT event when SummerSlam was in Brooklyn,
right?
And I think that was 2015.
Well, they went back to back. Brooklyn was like back to back to back. Remember, they were SummerSlam. Brooklyn had SummerSlam for like 2-3 years.
Yeah, they did in that time period.
Yeah,
but I know we went to the SummerSlam, and the takeover was the Iron Woman.
Right, the Iron Woman match or whatever it was.
Bayley and Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
So, and I think that was around this time.
Yeah.
I don't remember if that was 2014 or 2015.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody can let us know.
For sure.
Exactly, fact check it. But this was pretty darn close.
Yeah.
To the women's revolution. We're not there yet, but we're like on the cusp.
We're right there.
Yeah.
It might have been 2015. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then they had the John Cena and Rusev, which was a good match. I hated that John Cena is the one who beat him, but I understand why they did it because they were like Russia and America.
Yeah, like I get it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it was whatever. It's fine. Yeah.
Then they had Taker and Bray, which was the co-main, right? Because Undertaker needs to get his streak back, and he did.
And something we at that point we wanted to see that.
We did want to see
because they're two characters going at it, that kind of thing.
Right.
To see that dynamic.
It was good.
And then you finish off with the heist of the century.
Ooh, what a great ending. What a great ending.
That might be the greatest WrestleMania ending.
Yeah, I agree. If I can't think of one off the top right now to
me, that was why it was number 2 to me, because it pulled off the greatest WrestleMania ending, and from that story that wove through, you had Seth Rollins losing to Randy Orton in that fashion in the beginning, and then he comes in the end, swoops it, cashes in that Money in the Bank in that match. Yeah, like that was crazy. It's crazy.
All right, so what's your number 3?
So my number 3. And this is kind of where I was like, I don't know, but I'm gonna stick with it.
Okay.
My number 3 is 39.
Okay.
This past one.
Okay.
Originally, because this is why I asked you. Originally, I had night 1 only. I did not lump night 2 into it. Because if you take night 1 on its own, I think that's top 5. However, even taking night 2 into account, because like I was looking at some of my other choices that were on the cusp.
Yeah.
And I think the total package of 39 was enough to outweigh some of the other ones that were in my contention. Like I had 24 on the cusp.
Okay.
Which that was like Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair.
Sure.
The career on the line, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think 39 still beat that out. And we talked all about this last episode.
Yeah.
We don't need to dive much further into it, but like, I mean, especially night 1 was just phenomenal match quality, phenomenal stories. And then you go into night 2 and you still had great stories. Some of the execution as far as matches weren't there. And it definitely didn't live up to night 1.
No.
But I think if you take night 2 in a vacuum and not compare it to night 1, I think you still get a really solid product. So that's why I just stuck with my guns and said 39.
Fair enough.
So so I'm sticking with that for number 3.
Okay. I'm digging it.
I'll take both nights. If it means I get night 1 in there, I will take both nights with it.
Okay. I'm feeling you on that. I was conflicted. My number 2 is WrestleMania 25.
Okay.
My number 2 is WrestleMania 25. And it got a lot of good stories in there.
That has one of my favorite matches of all
obviously time. They have one of the greatest matches in WrestleMania history. And also they had some good stories along the way as well. So I just remember watching this and really enjoying all of it. And then it just culminates with that Undertaker Shawn Michaels match that everybody freaked out over. Like literally that was just insane to watch.
Which that's another petty one that got 4 3/4 stars.
That's insane.
Like, you gotta be kidding me. That's like of anything. And it did go over. It went half an hour.
Honestly, if he was looking back, I am sure there's no way it's not 6 stars. Like that's a 6-star. It's a 6-star match. Like, it's so good. Like it's such a good match. It really is. And it's crazy that it went number. It wasn't even the
main.
No,
it was like
even the main.
It was like second or third.
It wasn't even the main. And they had
because you had the 2
world titles.
Yeah, which they were fun.
And they were good matches, but it's just like the crowd was so burnt out from that.
Yes.
That they needed another they
really should have put that match in the middle, because there was because if you look at the card here,
right,
there's a lot of gaga and bullshit that could have happened where let's say you start I know they started off with the Money in the Bank,
right,
and the kickoff was the tag titles, right, the unified tag titles,
right,
but okay, so start off with Money in the Bank, then you go then why not come right at them
exactly
with that? Or if you're not going to do that, why don't you hit them with one of those title matches right away? They're not opposed to putting those title matches in the middle of the card, as we've seen, or other places. Unless they didn't think that Undertaker and Shawn Michaels would be able to have that kind of classic.
I don't know why they wouldn't, because literally the 3 matches they had prior were all classics. So I don't know why they would think that. Literally those,
because they were older. I don't know.
They had
so much BS in between. Yeah,
I know, but damn, the Bad Blood match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first Hell in the Cell.
Well, they had one right before then too. They had that one, and then they had the Hell in the Cell, and then they had the casket match.
Yeah,
those are all bangers. Mm-hmm. So to think that they're not going to put on a goddamn show, that's crazy. I don't give a fuck how old they are.
Yeah,
maybe now,
because they had a lot of kind of crap, because they had the Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal, which Santino won.
Right. Well, that could have gone right after this match.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, they could have put that later. You had Jericho against the Legends. You had Snuka, Steamboat, Piper, which was fine.
Which again, that's the show. That's the show, right?
Yeah. So but that could have been a let up. Same thing, Intercontinental title. That was 21 seconds.
Right.
That could have been. You could have moved that. That could have been the let up. The Extreme Rules match with the Hardys, that was fine, but you could move that around.
You can move it around. Yeah, it's a card placement for me, but I just thoroughly enjoyed, and it really is it's a 3-match card, but that's, looking back on it, it's a 1-match card. It's just you're anticipating now, looking back on it, waiting to watch this match.
And see, that's why I couldn't choose it as a whole, because I was this show is a 1-match.
It is
card to me.
Yeah, it's 3 matches, but in reality, it's a 1-match. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's over that Undertaker Shawn Michaels match overshadows, I think.
Yeah.
Everything.
Exactly. All right. What's your number 1 Mania?
All right. So my number 1
all-time
is kind of chalk.
Mm.
And that's it's 17.
You love 17.
I love 17 because it has it has everything. Like,
you love 17.
Well, because I mean, to me, I love Lamb. I do. Yeah, like 17, because I mean, I remember it fondly from watching it,
absolutely,
as a kid. But then also, like, going back, this was pretty stacked,
right?
Because you start off at the top with Jericho and William Regal.
Yep,
Intercontinental title.
Yep.
Great match. Then you had a little bit of whatever with Taz, APA, right?
Yeah, the whole thing,
whatever. Yeah. Fine, but it didn't last that long. It was fine.
No, 3, 4
Then you had just like a fun, entertaining.
This was actually really good. I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah, like sometimes those hardcore matches were hard to watch because it was just like, oh my gosh, like so cheesy and over the top. But like this was fun to watch.
Yes,
right?
It was.
Kane, Raven, Big Show.
It was.
Then you had Eddie Guerrero and Test, European title. Fine, he won the title there. Exciting. Then you had a great match here with Kurt Angle and he who should not be named, Mr. Benoit.
But we love Benoit.
Yeah,
but we don't.
It's
hard. It's hard.
Well, you can love the wrestler.
Yep.
It's kind of like the whole thing where it's like the body of work was great, but the person.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. But like you can't ignore that match. Then you have your women's title match, which that was like to just reintroduce China back into the fold there. Then you had another like moment here, not necessarily a great match, but this is a moment.
Great moment. Like it really
Shane
is
and Vince in a street fight, like,
and then Linda on the outside, like out here, comatose.
yeah, like all that, and then you have your TLC, like, putting all those guys on the map.
Oh here. Yeah, TLC.
Yeah, you got the TLC, and then you go gimmick battle royal. Who doesn't love a gimmick battle royal?
Who doesn't?
That was one of my favorites. I love that.
I do love a good gimmick. It's like an old town.
Like I wish they did
an old times game. Like you bring them in for softball.
Yeah, it's old. I wish they did that more often.
Me too.
Honestly, like just bring back the dudes who can wrestle. Like put like Tito Santana in there. Put like
he still can roll.
Scott Steiner. Put all them dudes that just like can still make their way through it.
Right.
Put them in a battle. Why the hell not? Like just make it an annual tradition. Doesn't even have to be WrestleMania tradition. Just like make it something. Something somewhere. It was fun. Like that was fun to watch.
Right.
And then you had Undertaker Triple H.
Which was a good match.
Solid match.
They've had better ones later, but this is a good match.
Right, but this was still a solid match.
It was solid.
This was really before they like really.
Well, this is not. He's not Triple H. He's not Triple H.
He's not like the game.
He's
Triple
not.
H.
Yeah, he's not there yet.
Like he's getting there, but he's not there.
He's not there yet.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because he's still kind of in the shadow of Rock Austin at this point. It isn't until after this really that two-man power
literally right after
kind of kicks
exactly.
in. Yeah, that's where it kicks into overdrive. Right.
Yep.
Then you had the second match in the trilogy.
Yep.
Steve Austin, The Rock.
Great match.
No disqualification.
Turn.
Yeah, the turn. Great match.
Turn.
All that kind of stuff. Yeah, like you would never expect it. You know what I mean? Like
it was good stuff.
Story, match, fantastic.
Yep.
That card was loaded to me. Like
it was
when you look back at it, it's pretty loaded top to bottom.
It is.
Fun, entertainment, but also some solid matches.
They did. It's an all-around great show, which is why my number one, even though I understand night one was way better than night two. It's WrestleMania 39. I'd really
why didn't you say?
Because I'm just saying I wanted to keep it like a whole secret. WrestleMania 39 to me
fantastic.
Was so fucking good. Like, I was sitting there. I'm literally sitting there with somebody who does not watch wrestling, and they're like, "This is really good." Like, you know what I mean? There's not much more that can be said. Like, And no, night one is definitely not. I mean, night two is definitely not better than night one, but it still ended strong. Like it's a good match at the end. Like I mean,
like I said, when you take it in the vacuum, if you take night two in a vacuum and forget that night one happened before it, it's still solid.
It's still a solid.
It's still great.
Still a solid Mania. It really is. It's still a solid Mania. I know some weird shit happened in there, but it's still a solid Mania. Worse shit has happened in Manias.
I was gonna say we can go for the five worst. We can
literally, that's all. We could do that.
The ones we dislike.
We can do that next time.
Our least favorites.
We can literally. I don't know if there's. I mean, we might be inconsistent with this, but we'll do that next time. We'll do that next time. Bottom five.
Next week.
Next week we'll do that.
Next week we'll do it. Okay.
Good.
All right. Done.
All right.
I'll start working on it. I've already got 3 in my mind.
I literally have about I have a boom, boom, boom. It's quick.
Yeah.
It doesn't take
I might
very
have
long.
to make decisions and be like, ooh,
Yeah.
was this not that bad? Because some were bad.
Yeah, some are real bad. Like
some
real
bad.
It is bad.
Some is bad.
All right. Let's change gears a little bit. Let's kind of talk about some real world stuff, because I mean we talked about some real world shit here before. So and we're both teachers out here, and we're both, we're in the thick of it. We don't know what the fuck's going on in the world, but I was wanted to kind of talk about like the stuff that's kind of been going on with these mass shootings, and they were kind of back to back a little bit, like with these mass shootings, like one week, one the other one. One was in Nashville of all places, at a Christian school, and I guess a trans woman. Did I have that correct? Or a trans man? I can't remember which one it was. It's not really super relevant.
Yeah.
But I'm only bringing it up because of the fact that I knew as soon as that came out that she was transgender, or he was transgender. Fuck. I can't remember. Either way, when they found out they were transgender, I knew like there was going to be an uproar about that, and less about the gun situation and somebody.
Right. It's less about the actual gun safety,
right?
Gun safety. Control, whatever debate, and more about
this person
this person's clearly
sick.
Whatever,
this person's ill because of this.
Yeah.
And this is what we're talking about. Like, this is why we're making these laws in the first place, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of kills the whole thing. But like, it's just a shame. Like, this is where we're at. Like, at a Christian school, I work at a Christian school, right? You know what I mean? So having that, like that, I was like, ooh, that hits a little too close to home for me. And I feel like we're pretty safe overall, but really, like, you can't just walk into the building. You feel me? Like, you can't, but at the same time, you don't know, like, you know what I mean? You don't know, like, how things are going down, how, and then they had that same, like, in a week or two later, they had that bank thing. They had this fucking bank thing in like Kentucky, like in Louisville.
Yep. Yeah, that's where it was.
And I thought it was like a bank robbery. No,
this was just disgruntled
just a mad dude. Yeah,
right?
It's a mad dude shoot up the place.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know. And I feel like it's a weird thing to say, but the more you publicize this stuff, I feel like the more this shit's going to happen. Like, that's like,
because in a way, it's like it's weirdly glorifying it.
It's glorifying
it in the same way as like a lot of these, how there's so many like true crime podcasts and things of that nature, like about all these horrific things that people do.
Right.
Like, if you continue to talk about it, like, we're not like, because so many people are talking about it, like, sort of that mental like capacity for these people usually is, oh, they're talking about it, that means they're going to be talking about me. And then that like it almost can drive people to feel like it's okay to do those things. Where, like, in all reality, it should be like the person who runs onto the baseball field. Like, you never see them, you don't hear shit about them.
Exactly.
Or they're just like, okay, cameras are everywhere else. Like, yeah, it's news, but like media sort of preys on that kind of stuff.
It does. It preys on it.
Yeah, like it's just so unfortunate. And the fact that like there hasn't really been anything that's been done, because it's not getting any better. Like, nothing is getting better with any of this. There's no real change happening in any way, shape, or form in regards to this stuff, because it continues to happen and it continues to increase. And that's really where the shame is. And that shouldn't even be something that's like, because like, I'm not going to wave any sort of political flag here, but that's just like human decency to me. Like, I don't care what you are, what you believe in, any of that kind of stuff. Nobody deserves to die in that way. Like, nobody deserves to have that situation happen to them.
Right.
So like the fact that like, some of these politicians, lawmakers, whatever you want to say,
Mhm.
are cherry picking facts from these things to fit their agendas rather than being like, look, people are losing their lives. What can we do to make sure the American people are safe? Whatever that may be. I'm not saying there's a right answer, wrong answer. I'm not going to get into all that because like that's not my place. But the fact that nothing's really being done about it, that is a problem.
Right. It's a big problem. And they had those people who got kicked out of their, I can't remember like the whole circumstance, but some people got kicked out, but then there was like a whole uproar. Like I think it was in Tennessee. Was it Tennessee or Kentucky or
which one are you talking? Are you talking about the
two black guys, or like there's two black guys and what they were kicked out of the
was it like the restaurant?
No, not the restaurant. Like they were like in a.
See, the fact that we're messing up these details, this is terrible.
So many,
the fact it's like, oh, are we talking about the restaurant? Are we talking about school? Which one are we talking about? Are we talking about this dude who did it? Or are we talking about this dude? The fact that we're even having this conversation and being confused about which shooting is which, that's a problem. Like that is the problem.
No, I was thinking about not the shootings, but like I was talking about like these guys that are like, I guess part of the government, or no, they're shit, I can't remember what they are. I gotta look it up real quick.
Are you just trying to like people who are trying to like?
Yeah, no, these two guys are doing dang, I can't remember now. Why is this kicked out? I did go to Starbucks immediately. That's weird. I remember that. That was forever ago. Why did that pop up? That's weird. Man, I can't remember now. Damn.
But the fact you even have to like look it up and
I can't remember now. Lord, I can't remember.
But like it still doesn't like change the fact that the fact you have to like look up the specific one, whereas like that's not the one that has happened.
Man, it's just wild. They say there's 15 mass shootings. 15 mass shootings already. Mm-hmm. Like fucking April. Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And it's I think it's the most in the first 100 days of a calendar year since 2009.
Yeah. Yeah, they're out here doing the worst right now. And like again, if we keep doing it, they keep talking about this stuff, man. It's just I don't think it helps. Like these crazy people, like because they're like, oh yeah, they did it. This is what happens. I want to get my name out there. I want to be on TV when I'm mad, or I want to do this because I'm mad. You know what I mean? And it's everywhere. It's different now. It's way worse now because it's well, and that's just like for whatever
in society, people feel more entitled to act certain ways that are just truly not acceptable.
Yeah.
But it just seems like they either don't care about the consequences or, it is what it is. You know, it's sort of like, you know, the problem child that just tries to keep pushing the envelope, pushing it, you know, and eventually they push it too far and then is what happens. But like more people are going into that rather than just being like, you know, self-control, I guess, shall we say. You know?
Oh, that's right. The Republican-controlled Tennessee House votes to expel 2 black Democrats for gun control protests.
Oh, right, because they were part of the protests.
Right. Yeah. But they let the white woman stay who protested with them, which was wild. They let her stay, and they kicked the 2 black guys out. That's what's so wild about the whole shit, to be honest with you. Like, it's like, can you be more clear? Like, can you be more clear on where you stand? On everything right now.
Yeah. It's whatever it's cherry picking
racism, like whatever you want.
It's cherry picking to fit whoever's agenda. Everybody's guilty of it. Everybody's guilty of it.
Yeah.
But it's like, why can't we just look at it from a human decency perspective in that people are losing their lives? What can be done to not have people lose their lives, and instead of try to fit it to a political agenda or something of that nature? That's just,
it's tough.
It's all lost at this point.
I just don't understand. I wish I could understand so I can like there's just some things I just make me understand.
You don't have enough money to understand.
No, apparently not.
That's the real thing.
Apparently not. Like
if you had enough money,
yeah, maybe
you would be able to
understand everything, right? Yeah. I'm just confused. Like there's some things like I'm just like make me understand it so then I'll be like okay, I can see your side right now. It's nothing they can right now. I'm just not understanding. So then they can make me see. Like it's not a matter of me being for guns, against guns. I don't care if people have guns. That's not a big thing. My dad was a police officer. Like, you know what I mean? My dad had guns. Like, you know what I mean? People have guns.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't care. But having said that, like, how are we acquiring said guns? Like, how are we, like, what are we doing right now? Like, that's wild.
Well, there's laws with everything that's dangerous. So,
yeah.
I mean, why are there some things that are, you know what I mean? Like, there's consequences. Like, if you drink and then you drive and you get caught, consequence.
Yeah.
Like, it works all with these different things. So I just don't understand why, if we continue to see something that, because, like, you know, before, you know, places and like states or whatever way back in the day were more relaxed about the whole drinking and driving.
Sure. Yeah.
But then they saw a lot of increase in the fatalities because of that.
This is bad.
Something changed.
Yeah.
Why are we not taking that same mentality to this exact thing where here's the device that is being used to alter people's decisions? So
yeah,
it's hard to change the person's mind without the correct therapy or whatever, but we can change the device that, you know, is driving people to end up executing those things, you know what I mean? So like you can only control so much, but it's like control what you can control and then go from there.
Yeah. I mean, I just wanted to touch on it a little bit, just get a little dash on it.
Yeah.
Just
like the fact that we even have to touch on that is,
I know, it's just terrible, man. I like to talk about some fun shit.
Mm-hmm.
I like to talk about some fun shit. I like to talk about MLB. I like to talk about NBA, which we're about to get into right now anyway. But yeah, I mean, you can tell us your thoughts on that. Like, let us know what you think, you know, about some of this stuff. It's all good because we're, again, the Sut Shop. It's one-stop shop for talking shop. So we talk about whatever.
We're talking about everything.
Anything
and everything that ends up coming to mind.
This shit was weighing on my mind, so I want to talk about it. That's it.
That's fair.
So let's go ahead and venture on and on. Okay, we're gonna venture out into the world of let's go to NBA. Let's do NBA.
Okay.
Because because we were talking offline, you were confused.
Oh, I mean, I was so I mean, first of all, NBA is not my thing. NBA is not my jam.
No.
Literally and figuratively. Even though I like NBA Jam.
Yeah.
That's about all I got.
Yeah.
So I was like looking into it. I'm like, okay, well, I want to see who's in the playoffs, right? And so I did a little googly search here, and this is new to me, even though I guess you said it's been happening past couple.
I guess I think it's like the last. I don't want to. I feel
years?
like the last 2 years.
But anyway, nothing I would know because, like, you know, I'm a short, fat, white guy. Basketball's not me, right? So like you know, I see this thing where it says the play-in tournament. I'm like, oh, so it's kind of like the NCAA where like you win and you're in, and then Sweatso's like, well, not really, because I was like, oh, so like for example, I'll use this as the example. So I saw that the Lakers beat the Timberwolves.
They did.
So that means the Lakers are in. Correct. But then the Thunder beat the Pelicans. And now the Timberwolves tonight or tomorrow? Tomorrow meaning Friday.
Correct. Friday the 14th.
Okay, so Friday the 14th, because we're filming this recording
Every
on
day's the
Thursday,
14th.
right?
Yeah.
So then I see that the Thunder, who won their game, plays the Timberwolves, who lost their game.
Correct.
To then play for a spot in the playoffs.
That's right.
And then I'm looking at the other one, and the Hawks beat the Heat.
Right. Upset.
And then the Bulls beat the Raptors.
Which is hilarious, by the way.
How is that hilarious?
Okay, so DeMar DeRozan, he's a great player.
That I know. Yes,
DeMar DeRozan is a great player. His daughter is by the free throw line, and every time the opposing team shot free throws, right as they were shooting, she would scream bloody fucking murder. As soon as they were throwing it, they shot 50% from the free throw line that night. That's serious. Because she's out here going, I mean, it is the funniest shit you will ever see. It is to be seen. Because she was sitting there every time. You need to watch it. It's fucking hilarious. But anyway, yes.
So then the Bulls beat the Raptors, and now the matchup for Friday is Bulls versus the Heat. So the Heat lost,
right?
But yet they get another chance.
They do.
whereas the Bulls win, and they still have to beat somebody else.
Yeah.
So the Raptors are gone,
right?
And then the Pelicans are gone,
right?
So the Thunder have to win 2 games.
That's right.
And the Bulls also have to win 2 games, but the Heat only had to win 1 game, and the Timberwolves only had to win 1 game.
It's because they were seeded. It's how they were seeded. It's just because one of them was 9 and 10, and the other one was 7 and 8. So they gave preference to the regular season. Like, you did better in the regular season, though. Therefore, but because you were sucky, you have to win 2 games to get in. If you win these 2 games, then you deserve to be in the playoffs. If you don't, then you don't.
So so before this, how many teams made? Wasn't it 8 teams that made the playoffs before?
8. Yeah.
So now they're giving the chance for, or is it still 8?
It's still 8.
It's okay.
It's still 8.
So it's still 8, but they're just
it's
still 8, but they're going okay. 7, 8 instead of guaranteeing 7 and 8 being in there.
Right.
You're saying okay, 7 and 8 because you suck the most out of the best.
That's right.
You play each other, and then whoever wins that, you're in. You're good.
You're good.
Go ahead, get up in there. But if you lose, you're going to go down to the suck even more section.
Right. And if you lose that game,
and you are going to play one of the people who is 9 or 10,
who
might have touched the playoffs a little bit there and are reaching, so they can beat you. And now there's only 1 game, right?
Right.
Oh, see, that's dirty. Because isn't that's anyway? So whoever loses that 7-8 game gets another chance, though. Yeah, another chance, because you got 7 and 8. So theoretically, instead of you just staying there, you're going to play whoever wins the 9-10 game, and then whoever loses the 9-10 game, doesn't matter whether they're 9 or 10, they're gone.
They're gone.
And then so the winner plays that loser, and then whoever wins that game gets in.
Yeah, and it's for the money. It's for the get more fans excited, get more people watching it. Right? It's like another.
Now, does 7 and 8 always have the home advantage?
I think 7. Yes, the higher seed would have the home field advantage.
Okay. So like 9. So like 9 would have the home advantage.
Right.
So wouldn't you want to be 9 instead of 8 though?
It depends. It depends on how big that gap is. Sometimes that gap, like if you're like, it depends how bad the teams are. Honestly, I think those teams are really close. But like some of those teams, like they're like one is like 42 and 40, then the next one down is like 34 and you know what I mean, like. It could be drastic, so maybe not. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. If
I'm gonna look at that right now. I'm gonna look at the East.
Better than that team, if you're better than that team, then you should win the game. If you don't win, you don't win. You suck.
Now in the East, it was pretty close. Yeah, because the Hawks 41 and 41, Heat 44-38, Bulls 40-42, Raptors 41-41.
Yeah, that's
so they were all tight. The Western Conference. Kind of the same deal. Lakers 43-39, Timberwolves 42-40, Thunder 40-42, and the Pelicans 42-40. So the Pelicans got screwed on this one.
Yeah.
Because they lost that game.
Yes, they did. They lost. They're out.
Oops.
That's what happens. You lose to the lesser team. That's what happens.
Wow.
Yep. There it is. And then so that's gonna be an interesting matchup. You know what I mean? So that could go either way, that could go either way. The biggest upset was the Miami Heat losing to the Hawks. So that's a bigger gap. So Miami Heat plays the Bulls. That's the biggest gap so far. You know,
Okay.
they're up 4 wins. That's a 4-win difference. It's not super significant, but it is, right? So, you know, but they're going to have that home field advantage or home court advantage, so they can, if they lose, then they lost. Like, I mean, you know, then you for sure, you lost 2 in a row, bro. You don't get the playoffs. That's it.
Right.
You don't get that 7-game series like, you know, everybody else. You lost to the lesser team twice. You definitely don't deserve. So that's kind of the mindset of it all. I'm going to watch the NBA playoffs this year. I'm going to try my very best to catch games because I like the NBA playoffs. I don't like the NBA regular season right now, but the NBA playoffs I'll watch. I'll go ahead and watch that shit.
I was gonna say I did go to one NBA game. I went to a Sixers game.
Did you?
Yeah, I went to. I forget who they played.
How was that for you?
Well, it was fine. The game was okay, and then like it was one of those games where it was kind of back and forth, but they were losing towards the end, and then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter they made a big comeback, like way late.
Okay.
And then man, I'm trying to remember who they played. I want to say it was the Pistons, but I'm pretty sure that's not who they played.
Yeah. I still didn't. I meant to go to a Wizards game, catch a Wizards game. I did not. I'll try to catch one next year. I keep saying that fucking shit every year.
Every year.
Do. Every year I keep saying it. But I live right by the fucking. I should just go. It's like whatever. I'm going. It's cheap. They suck. It's fine. Believe me, it is. Yeah. So that's going on right now. I'm not going to pick favorites or who's going to win and shit like that because I don't watch the NBA like that to have even like some semblance of an idea of what is actually going to happen. I know who's ranked. That doesn't mean shit. Like we already
the rankings don't mean anything.
If we watch enough sports, like you know what I mean, like oh they're the number 1 seed. Oh, we already know like oh they're gonna be out.
It's whoever's hot going into it.
Exactly. We don't know. We don't know really. Yeah. So that's where it comes down to. We really don't know. Yeah. So that's happening in NBA. We could talk about MLB real quick. It's that third week about to start. It's popping off. It's getting and fucking the Rays still haven't lost a goddamn game since we had this conversation.
I know. And I think they tied the record.
They did.
They tied that record.
Yeah. They out here doing it, man. It is crazy, man. It is a crazy situation right now. And right now, did y'all score some runs? Y'all done?
Yeah, I don't.
You scored 1 run.
Yeah, we scored we got whooped tonight.
Yeah, it'll happen.
11-2. Yeah, it's bound to happen. We're still. I mean,
we got whooped the other night,
we
got whooped the other night, so it's all good. Yeah.
It happens.
It is baseball. You're gonna get whipped sometimes. But yeah, Tampa Bay has not lost. Again, it's so early in the season. We don't know how it's gonna all shake out. It's just so early. But right now, the Phillies don't look super strong.
No.
Just off the top.
I mean they're missing people, but
they are. They're missing folks. Yeah, for sure. Washington. I mean, they got the same record as Washington, and we know what Washington is.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look and see like what some of these Rays players are doing.
Well, they got a few cats.
I mean, here's the thing. They're hitting. Like that's the biggest thing. They get like
they could always pitch. Now they hit
four of their top 5 hitters are over 300 at this point.
Bro, they already got a plus 71. They got a plus 71 already in differential.
Yeah, like that's silly.
That doesn't make sense.
That's silly.
The next closest, I think, is 24. That shit doesn't make sense, dude.
Yeah, a couple teams have plus 24.
Yeah, plus 24.
There's a couple teams that have like minus 42, minus 50.
Minus 50.
Oakland's at minus 50.
Oakland is rough right now. We fleeced Oakland. We took all their good players.
Moneyball ain't working.
No, that ain't working. That ain't working.
No. Didn't we look at like who that was on that squad and it was like, I don't know, anybody?
There's nobody on the squad, I know.
Single person on that squad.
Like, oh yeah, we had a whole discussion about that.
Yeah.
No, it's a bunch. It's bad. But yeah, I mean, we'll keep you updated with the MLB stuff. Again, it's about to ramp up into May, beginning of end of April, beginning of May.
Mhm.
That's where really you start to kind of like settle down a little bit.
You start to uncover, sort of like the what's for real,
right,
and what's not. Like right now, we're still we're in basically week 2, week 3,
right.
Still some like anomalies happening here and there, and because you still have some of the top hitters not in the hitting where they should be. You got some guys who are like out hitting their coverage, and
right.
then, same thing with the pitching. Like you got some of those pitchers like other than Shohei Ohtani, he's obviously just still like lights out.
We're gonna circle back. We're gonna circle back to Shohei, man, because you're getting him shit like 2 years ago.
I was because he wasn't shit then.
You were giving him shit.
Check him.
Out here working.
Check him. Check what? Check him. For steroids, check him.
Oh, you're checking him all the time.
So I'd be
checking Marquez, right?
Yeah, exactly. Check him still. He probably still's on it.
I told these motherfuckers. I said they need to check. They need to check Acuna. They need to check this motherfucker right now because Acuna out here doing some strange shit out here. I said they need to check his ass right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's best friends with Tatis or not. I don't know, but they need to check that motherfucker.
Yep.
Because this boy is playing out of his fucking mind.
Yeah, I don't like. It's like he was never injured.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden he like figured it. He just like snapped right back into it. He's like,
he's still not hitting home runs out here, but he's just doing everything else. He's just doing anything and everything. It don't even matter.
Yeah. There must have been something that clicked with Ohtani because he was like he was okay.
Yeah.
When I was saying that shit, like
I know.
Then all of a sudden, like he did come out and was like, "Oh, by the way, I can do all these things."
Yeah, I'm doing everything.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he just needed that adjustment period.
Maybe he heard you talking shit.
Probably. His translator was like, "Hey, man, this dude's talking mad shit."
Yeah, talking shit on you. No, it's funny because I think I had to show. I had to show Erica. So I remember specifically when I was at a game when I was talking shit to Dan Ugla. I was talking shit to Dan Ugla, and I was right behind his family. I was right behind his fiance and shit. Like it's like his fiance.
Was this when he couldn't see?
Huh?
Was this when he couldn't see?
Oh yeah, he was. I don't know if he wasn't seeing.
Was this when he was blind or whatever?
He might have been.
Didn't he have like the eye surgery or whatever?
I don't fucking know.
The LASIK or whatever. It was like, oh yeah, I couldn't hit because I couldn't see.
Yeah, I don't really know about that shit. What I do know is that motherfucker was struggling. It was early in the season, right? It was like the first 2 weeks, but he was on the same bullshit, right?
Dan Struggler.
Yeah, Dan Struggler out here, and he's just out here striking out, and like I came in this Philly game at night. I got the good seats before the screen was up. I'm right behind. I'm 2 rows behind the dugout, right behind fucking not ex-wife, but fiance, probably married by now, and the brother-in-law and the mother-in-law, right?
You got the whole family reunion.
And I had no idea. I'm just like, Dan Ugla out here struggling. Oh God. And I was like, he's struggling like a motherfucker before the game started, right? And shit. And then the guy kept looking back and laughing his ass off. And I was like, what? He's like, that's his fiance. I said, oh shit.
Oh my God. Oh. Well, you're like, I'm not wrong.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I'm sorry. No, I was like, I'm sorry. Yeah. Like, blah, 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 blah.
But are you as blind as him?
But what happened was he proceeded to hit 2 of the most clutch ass home runs motherfuckers could ever hit.
There you go. That's because fiance was texting. There was like,
he hit a 2-run shot.
Someone talking,
and then he hit a fucking grand slam at the end of the game. I said, get the fuck out of here. I said, what the fuck is happening? I looked at you. I remember, and I met him in Atlanta this past year. I met him in Atlanta, legit. I met him in Atlanta. I was like, bro, I got to tell you the story. I got to tell you this story, Dan. I got to tell you the story, bro.
I was sitting behind your fiance.
I'm sitting behind your fiance
talking mad shit.
All types of shit. I mean, the shit I was saying, I wasn't saying anything derogatory, but at the same time, it was like, damn, like if somebody's saying that shit about me, like, and like somebody I knew, be like, God damn, bro, chill. I'd be like, but look, he sucks.
You see what he's doing, which is nothing.
He sucks, but he did not suck that night. But then he sucked the rest of the year. He sucked the rest of the year.
That's when it mattered because
no, I was there.
The text went in there.
Yep, so. That's it. He heard.
Beyonce was texting, being like, "Hey, shut this dude up." He's like, "Okay, let me put my glasses on."
I love it. Oh shit. So this is the next thing. All right. The next thing is you want to talk about NXT 2.0, but what you need, what you have to do is you have to bring me along because I have not been watching this shit.
But here's the thing. You should.
I know.
You should.
I know. I just haven't at all.
You should.
Whatever. What has been happening?
Well, I'll recap Stand and Deliver for you.
Okay.
That's like the WrestleMania equivalent at this point.
That's their thing right there.
Stand and Deliver. That's the NXT WrestleMania right now.
Okay.
Because they're kind of like they're still kind of doing the whole takeover thing, but it's more so now they're getting away because it's they're not really like taking over the network anymore. It's just now they have their own like either premium live events or they have their own stuff going on in this 2.0. So at Stand and Deliver, you got Chase U. So I don't know if you know the whole Chase U thing. It's Chase University, Andre Chase.
Oh, fuck me. I am way out of
it. Formerly Harlem Bravado.
Okay.
He runs Andre Chase. He runs Chase U. So he runs the university.
All right.
And there's this dude, Duke Hudson.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know the guy. Yeah, I know the guy. Yeah.
Hudson, poker guys, like, now he's part of this whole thing with Thea Hale, who's like this young prospect. I'm trying to remember her indie name. It's escaping me at this point. Anyway, and I'm trying to remember who else. It was I think it was Tyler Bate was with them. And they Tyler Bate, like NXT UK. Tyler Bate.
I know Tyler Bate.
Faced off against the Schism, which is Joe Gacy.
Oh, that's Ava and them.
And that's The Rock's daughter, Ava Rain.
Is she wrestling and shit?
Yeah, she wrestled. She wrestled because it was like three dudes and a girl.
Is it the first time she wrestled, or did she?
Yes, I believe this was her first like match, like NXT.
Interesting. Okay,
and did fine. Yeah, but that was like the pre-show kickoff match. So the Schism, Joe Gacy, the former team, the Grizzled Young Veterans.
Yeah,
they're part of the Schism thing.
Okay,
and so then Chase U won, which it was like a fun little match thing going on there. So that was that. And then they started off with the NXT Women's title ladder match.
Right.
Between Roxanne Perez, Zoe Stark, Gigi Dolan, Tiffany Stratton, who like I call Charlotte Flair 2.0 because she looks exactly like her, just like miniature size.
Who does that? Who does?
Stratton.
Oh, Stratton?
Tiffany Stratton. She looks like she's got like the same kind of gear like Charlotte Flair does.
Oh, okay.
Does the same kind of like gymnastic stuff.
Oh,
Charlotte Flair does.
Gotcha.
She's like Charlotte Flair 2.0. Lyra Valkyria. I always get like Taya Valkyrie. Lyra Valkyria.
Oh my!
And then Indy Hartwell.
Okay.
So who ended up and Indy Hartwell ended up winning.
Yeah.
And there's the whole storyline because the toxic attraction thing.
Right. Yes.
That happened because Mandy Rose isn't there anymore.
Right. Exactly.
So that JC Jane, Gigi Dolan kind of having conflict.
Right.
Gigi went up, grabs a strap. JC Jane comes up the ladder, whacks her in the face. She goes down. What I thought would have been cool is if JC Jane ended up taking the title for herself, kind of like Brock Lesnar did, when he did the Money in the Bank thing.
Sure.
That would have been cool, but this was a nice moment for Indy Hartwell then to take the title. So that was a fun match, and they were taking some crazy bumps. They were taking some crazy bumps. It is worth the watch.
Okay,
like the Stand and Deliver is worth the watch. That women's match is definitely worth the watch. They were taking some crazy bumps in that particular thing.
All right.
Then they had a 3-way tag title match: Gallus, the Gallus Boys versus the Creed Brothers versus the Family, who is Tony D'Angelo and Stax. So they got like this little mafioso tag team going on, and that was a decent match. It kind of served the purpose. There was one really cool spot where the one Creed brother picked up like two dudes on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Like from ground level, and then the other one like jumped off the top and kind of missed his little Brutus bomb thing. But it was still cool nonetheless. They would like pick these two bigger dudes up on his shoulder. Like it was there were some really cool like athletic displays there. Like the match itself wasn't like amazing, but there were some cool moments in there. So
cool.
Then this match was insane. The NXT North American Championship match.
Okay.
So it was Wesley, the dude from like, the Rascals and stuff.
Yeah.
Then you have JD McDonough, who used to be, oh my gosh, Jordan Devlin.
Oh, Jordan Devlin. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He's
they changed his whole name.
Changed his name to JD McDonough.
Okay.
And he's like kind of like this like psychotic, like person who enjoys pain and like knows how to do that kind of shit. It's an interesting character.
All right.
Ilya Dragunov.
Yeah, I know him.
Axiom, who used to be A Kid.
Okay, don't know.
He's under a mask now. He kind of looks like our friend. Shout out to Razor Wing.
Okay.
HTW.
All right.
Can't believe Frog. He kind of looks like him
Gotcha.
at that point. And Dragon Lee, who's the new
Dragon Lee
signing. This match was insane.
Okay, I gotta watch this back.
It was insane. Yeah. It was insane. A lot of crazy shit. There was no ladders or anything. Like, it wasn't like a ladder match. It was just like
who ended up winning this?
Kind of like a scramble. But Wesley won.
Oh, Wesley won. Okay.
But what was cool was that this match was very cool because it like let all of those other competitors have the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
Like Wesley was not the spotlight of this match.
Right.
But all these other competitors, especially like getting Dragon Lee to showcase his skills, Axiom, like that kind of stuff, getting all these dudes over in the process.
Right.
But then like Wesley came in at the end and like not really like stole the win, but like because he wasn't like the focal point at the end, it was sort of like oh shit, you thought he was going to lose the title because he was like not in focus at all, and then all of a sudden he comes in and gets the victory. But like all this other crazy stuff was happening. So it was a pretty solid match. That was worth the watch. Then Johnny Wrestling came back.
Why?
Unsanctioned match. Okay, so there's a whole storyline with Grayson Waller.
Yeah, I know he's like a big talking a lot of shit, right? This guy.
Yeah. So he's like, think of it like LA Knight, or think of it like the Miz sort of deal, but he's like more social media based.
Right.
And he was calling out Shawn Michaels because Shawn Michaels is in charge of NXT.
Right.
Right. And he was basically trying to goat Shawn Michaels out of retirement for a match. And Shawn Michaels was like, no, but I got this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where Johnny Gargano came back.
Gotcha.
And took that place. And then, because what was really cool, this was because remember when Johnny first got released? Or like not released, but like was gone for a while. Yeah. Grayson Waller was the one that put him out of action. All that long time ago. So it was a really cool thing to call back to that way long time ago when Johnny was out.
Yeah.
Like Grayson Waller was the one that put him through the table and stuff. And he comes back and he's like, yo, I got beef with you because you're the one that like sent me out of my home. So like whatever. Then they made it an unsanctioned match. And that was a solid match also. Cause like, Johnny Wrestling in that environment, just like letting him kind of do whatever, but also like Grayson Waller, I think is ready. I think he's ready, to make the next, next step. I think he's ready to make the next step. I do, at least.
Good.
So that was solid. Then you kind of had like the little let me down. This is more story based NXT women's tag match.
I don't know any of the. I know none of these ladies.
Fallon Henley and Kiana James. Okay. There's a tag team, Briggs and Jensen.
Okay.
Kind of like these like redneck bar brawl.
I've seen those guys,
right?
I've seen those guys. Yeah.
Fallon Henley is with them. Is like a friend, whatever, because she's like works and runs the bar that they go to. Because Kiana James was trying to come in because she's like this like entrepreneur type character, right? Okay. So she was trying to come in and buy this bar, this failing bar, whatever. There was a little beef there. Okay. But then Kiana James and the Jensen dude started having like a little thingy thing, right? So now Fallon and Kiana James are partnered up, but then there was a little beef because Fallon Henley thought Jensen was getting cheated on by this Kiana James, whatever. So there's a little team turmoil and whatever. Long story short, in this tag match, there was some drama there, and their opponents were Alba Fire, who used to be Kaylee Ray.
Oh,
they changed her name to Alba Fire now.
Okay.
And then Isla Dawn. So another two like NXT UK.
I got you.
People paired them up.
And
now they're the tag champions after a little, kind of team turmoil kind of thing. So like the match itself wasn't that great, but told a story that needed to be.
Okay.
At that point.
Understood.
Then you had Braun Breaker, who's the NXT champion, against Carmelo Hayes, who's like, he is him. Like, he's the dude, right?
Right. Is he the dude? Do you believe in him?
Yeah. Big time.
He's legit.
I mean, I thought he was overdue, in my opinion. Like he was overdue.
I don't know him like that. Like I haven't been
when he was on the Indies as Christian Casanova, he was already like, to me, I was like, that kid's
he gonna be the stuff. He gonna be the shit.
And then he came in here, Carmelo Hayes. People are on board with him. He's got the dude Trick Williams with him.
Right. Yeah, Tricky Trick. Yeah.
Yep. And so he ends up winning.
Okay.
So he beats Braun Breaker.
Right.
The match itself was pretty good, but there were also like some of these other matches, like that North American Championship match.
Right.
It's hard to follow that and the unsanctioned match with
Absolutely.
something like that, especially when you've got Braun Breaker, who's like a young Goldberg.
Right.
Essentially type.
That's what he is, right?
I mean? Yeah.
That's what they're trying to present him as anyway.
Yes, that is definitely what they're trying to present him as. And so, I mean, it was still solid. Like, it was still a solid match. And Breaker does some crazy shit now and again. Like, he's not just Goldberg, where it's like, I kind of rough you up. I don't know how to do anything. But like, they are kind of presenting him as that dude. But anyway, Mello got his moment. So I would recommend giving this a watch if you have not done so on the Peacock.
I will do it this weekend, sir.
If you got like 2, I think it went 3 hours. If you got 3 hours to spare,
I will do it this weekend.
Check that out.
I will check it out.
It's fun, but like just in general, I think like, because some people rag on NXT 2.0 in general, and I think I don't think that's fair. To me, the NXT 2.0 reminds me of the new generation.
Okay.
Like that kind of like where you have have they
changed anything though since like so when they've initially had that 2.0 change, have they changed it like from that style, like whatever they were doing, have they changed it since then?
What do you mean?
So because Vince wanted this, NXT 2.0 changed the whole thing, right? Blah blah blah. But everything changed. Had they changed it back since then? Like, I mean, as far as like storylines or anything like that, or what's going on with all that stuff? Because it was almost kind of out of nowhere. I just didn't know where are they headed with it now? Is everything kind of out of nowhere?
I think it's just kind of accepted at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I think they made the change. I think it was jarring at first,
right? Because
like, why change something that's not broke? But then people realized it's the same sort of NXT. They just put as Bruce Pritchard would say a fresh paint of coat on it,
right?
I like the matches and stuff. It is still like the developmental territory, so you are going to see some of those things in there, but they also have NXT Level Up, which is like the real developmental show before you get to the main NXT show.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So that's where a lot of like the others really start on that NXT Level Up, and then they like literally level up to that main NXT show.
Gotcha.
So like as far as like how it's presented, one of the things I actually like with their presentation of it is they are mixing a lot of the newer sort of like social media type deals into the actual like promo work itself, and doing really instead of just like, here's a backstage interview with so and so, they're doing it like as if it's being captured on social media. Like, oh, this is, somebody went live on Instagram with this, or like, something like that. It's like, here's like a thing that was posted on Twitter, and they're using that to further like a promo kind of deal, or just like some other interesting like vignette type deals. Like, that's why it reminds me of like more new generation-y type thing, because we're getting more like when you're looking at the main product now, like the main WWE product, we're not getting a whole lot. Like, when we talked about WrestleMania, we were saying we were surprised at the little amount of backstage segments that there were at all. And it was just mainly like, if there was anything, the segment was in the ring or you were in a match.
Right.
Whereas NXT, you still get your matches, but you're not just like, it's not a match and then it's just a backstage interview. It's some kind of like vignette sort of thing. Like, yes, there's Mackenzie Mitchell who does, little interviews here and there for that kind of stuff.
Right.
But overall, you're getting more of like the well-produced vignettes for things, or you're getting the integrated use of like social media type production in promos and setting up things rather than just like, okay, now we're backstage. Here's, like this happened sort of thing. So I think it's I think it's a cool new approach, or at least new to me. That
I will
in that realm. So like I find it entertaining, and there are a lot more characters, shall we say, in NXT 2.0. Whereas like main roster, you're not getting as many characters. You just kind of have like your wrestlers, like Pretty Deadly is a tag team that has this like they're from the UK, but they have like this character of being flamboyant over the top and like yes boy, like all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Most of these people have some kind of character that you can latch onto.
Okay.
Instead of just like, okay, this is so and so's name. And I just enjoy, like, I feel like that's a great way to get people to connect with these people so that when they're following them from NXT to the main roster, there's a little bit more of a connection rather than like, okay, you're bringing up, because like when they start bringing up some of those NXT call-ups before, it's like the main audience doesn't know who Tommaso Ciampa is.
Right.
No, nobody cares because like they don't know who he is. But like all the NXT people are like, oh yeah, and like indie people are like, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, but I feel like they're giving the NXT 2.0 is giving the general fan base or just people in general a reason to latch on to the performers instead of just like, oh, this is another indie wrestler we signed.
Well, I haven't seen too many
call-ups. There's a little more depth, if that makes sense.
I haven't seen too many call-ups, so we'll see how it goes when they start calling these guys up. We'll see how that stuff goes. But I'll definitely we'll take a look at this weekend. I'll check out NXT Stand and Deliver, see what's going on. Yeah. See if I can get back in the groove of things and all that good stuff, man. All right.
Yeah. I think it's worth it, but I know people rag on it a little bit, because like it got mopped. It got mopped with AEW and whatever. But like AEW is the main polished product. NXT 2.0 is not. Right. So like it's just kind of what.
Yeah, it's different. It's not the same.
It's a different deal.
Yeah.
So. But I think it's fun. I think it's fun and it's entertaining.
Yeah, I haven't been watching much of AEW either, so I mean I haven't been watching.
Yeah, I'm like slowly catching back up. Like I saw the last.
Maybe we
saw the last pay-per-view.
Maybe we could touch on that.
Yeah, we can touch
next
on that
week.
We can touch a little bit of AEW next week.
So we'll do five worst manias.
Ooh, okay. 5 worst manias.
AEW.
Okay.
We'll touch on some AE dubs.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. We'll see what else is going on in the world out here.
Yeah, because who knows? A lot can happen between the next time we record.
You know that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. You know what? It is time. Because I'm tired anyway. From me.
Say it's late for us.
Yeah. Before we go, let's check out all our.
Yeah, I was gonna say we gotta get the plugs in here.
Plug it in.
Yeah, especially if you can't see us. Especially if you can't see us right now.
That's true.
Got to do all the plugs.
We're pretty. You should watch us because we're pretty.
Yeah. Oh, look! I even got my WrestleMania logo shirt on right now.
I got my shirt. I got my.
You got your
brand shirt? Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think of it?
I have not opened it at all. Yeah. It's there. It's here. It exists. I'll present it. I will show it off next week. Perfect.
We'll have a formal presentation.
Absolutely.
Of your because I love wearing all these Roosevelt's.
Yeah.
Shirts.
Yeah.
I got my WrestleMania one.
When you sent it to me, I bought it immediately. I literally bought it within.
I saw that. I was like, he either has to have this or at least know that it exists.
Yes.
And then if he doesn't want it, he doesn't want it. But like, I felt like you would jump all over that.
I was like, it was perfect. 5 minutes. Yeah. There's no thought. I said it's bought.
Yeah.
Done.
When I saw that come out, I was like, okay. I saw the Griffey one. I was like, the Griffey one looks cool. I was like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
There's
Gotta get
this
that one.
There's this one. I was like, immediately send.
Well, you can check us at Sweats at eJacob Music. Check me out there on all platforms. Maestro.
Yeah, all social media. You can find me at Maestro A. Scott. That's all over the place. Also, make sure if you are watching us on the HTW YouTube channel right here, look down below. Down below. Make sure you're subscribed.
Please
like our
do.
content.
We've
got a bunch of stuff
share
on there.
the content, subscribe to content. Please follow us. You can follow us, Sweatshop Pod, HTW. Is it high? So it's at High Tension.
So it's at High Tension HTW. Yeah. You'll see it. You'll see it if you're watching this. You'll see it at the beginning. You'll see it at the end here.
Yep.
It's at High Tension HTW all across the board on social media, or you can always go to our website, hightenctionhtw.com. We're also going to start to work in some other different kind of mediums here, because not only do we have our podcast, like we have Tommy Talks Tape, we got Anything But Wrestling, we've obviously got the Sweatshop here, but we're also getting into the article and blog realm. So we're going to start posting some different articles and things of that nature on our site as well. So make sure you stay tuned to that. Check out hightenctionhtw.com. And we'll also keep posting here on the YouTube channel for stuff. So just find us here on YouTube, search up HTW Network, or I think it's youtube.com/@hightenctionhtw. Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you like this, get notified of when we post another podcast video. Click that little bell, get the notification, all that kind of stuff. And obviously for content from us here at the Sweatshop Podcast, follow us at the Sweatshop Pod all over the place.
All over.
That's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of good stuff. Follow us there. We'll always, and if you want to interact with us, we're putting these, especially on the video, we're putting these little hashtags in. So if you want to chime in with us as far as talking about like some of these different topics, tag us in it at the Sweatshop Pod, and then put that little hashtag so we know what you're talking about. As far as if you want to put your NBA predictions in, your MLB predictions in, even tell us what your top 5 manias are of all time, or if you want to get in next week with the 5 worst manias, that'll be something that you guys can weigh in as well. And we love to hear from everybody. So other than that, just really stay tuned for all of our different content we got coming from the HTW Network and High Tension Wrestling. So follow us at all those places, at High Tension HTW, at the Sweatshop Pod. I'm at Maestro A. Scott. Sweats, you're at eJacob Music. And I think that is all the plugging. I think I've plugged everything I can plug.
Listen, let's not get too dirty out here. It's getting too late to plug things in.
A little bit. Gotta plug it in, plug it in. A little. Hey.
Oh, shit. From me and the Maestro, we are closing up shop.
Plugging it up. Plugging up shop. Plug it up shop.
Fuck me. I'm just.
Closing up shop.
Close it up.